The Bering Sea, a name that evokes a world of ice, rough waves, and the most severe challenges American fishermen have ever faced. But in what is considered the most dangerous sea on the planet, there exists a treasure that the whole world craves. Did you know that each fishing season in the Bering Sea can bring billions of dollars to the U.S. economy? And can you imagine how many days and nights of non-stop work the fishermen have to do to bring those giant crabs from the cold seabed to high-class dining tables in Tokyo, New York, or Paris? What makes this crab so special? Why can a king crab sell for hundreds of dollars or even more when there are so many other seafood out there? Go discover Ice Age Riches, the king crab's brutal price. In the North Pacific, the Bering Sea stretches like a giant ice wall separating Alaska from Russia. In winter, temperatures can drop to minus 30 degrees Celsius, and storms that last for weeks make this area one of the harshest fishing grounds on the planet. Yet, beneath the icy waters, an extraordinary creature has evolved to dominate: the king crab. This crab can weigh up to 12 kilograms with a leg span of nearly 2 meters. Its thick shell is covered with sharp spikes like armor, both a defense tool and proof of its ability to adapt to harsh environments. It is this huge size and rarity that has turned king crabs into treasures of the Ice Age. In the market, just one can bring in hundreds of dollars. But behind that luxury, there is still an unanswered question. What price did humans have to pay to bring these giant creatures from the bottom of the icy ocean to the splendid dining table? For Alaskan fishermen, king crab fishing is not just a job, but a fight for survival. The Bering Sea, where harsh winters prevail, waves are more than 10 meters high, and blizzards rage, always puts them on the thin line between success and failure. On deck, the ice was thick, the floors were slippery like traps, and the temperature often dropped below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, making any fall a brutal challenge to the body. However, in that context, they are engaged in a fierce race against time and nature, because the king crab fishing season only lasts a few weeks each year. To capture the treasure at the bottom of the sea, giant steel cages, weighing up to 300 kilograms, are dropped to a depth of hundreds of meters. Each time the cage is pulled, it is a test of strength, concentration, and team spirit. The cable is so tight that it seems to tear the space apart. Any negligence can turn the effort into a waste. The economic pressure on the ship always made the atmosphere as tense as a bowstring. A successful trip brought in hundreds of thousands of dollars, but failure meant debt and exhaustion. That is why on deck, calloused hands still cling tightly to the cables and snow-browned faces still steadfastly head out to sea. For them, risk is not an option, but the only way to survive. And then the climax came, when the giant iron cage rose from the sea, filled with king crabs with red claws reaching up fiercely. Joy exploded. It is not only the result of exhausting labor in the cold, but also a testament to human will in the face of the harshest nature on the planet. It was those moments that turned the king crab into a symbol of wealth, of the power of the ocean, and of the harsh price that Alaskan fishermen had to pay to reach Ice Age riches. Behind the lavish banquets of the upper class, the king crab fishing industry also has a dark side that few people know about. In the 1980s, bottomless greed caused many fishing grounds to become exhausted. Fleets rushed out to sea, overfishing, causing the king crab population to plummet in just a decade. The wealth quickly turned into a harsh warning from nature. Faced with this threat, the government was forced to impose strict regulations, production quotas, crop seasons, and conservation programs. Fishermen no longer had the freedom to fish as before. Every trip now has to follow the cold numbers on the license, because even one violation means a heavy fine. But strict management has never completely dispelled the darkness. In some places, illegal mining ships still exist, evading control to make illegal profits. The black market, with its clandestine dealings, continues to feed the insatiable human demand. And every crab that is taken without control is another cut into the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Meanwhile, at the other end of the supply chain, modern processing plants operate around the clock. Crabs are processed, frozen, and exported all over the world, from Tokyo to New York. Their journey from the cold seabed to the luxurious dinner plate is a testament to man's desire to conquer nature. From that underground trading world, another path opens, bright with fluorescent lights and cold in each freezer. These are modern processing plants, where each crab is processed with strict procedures. Workers in thermal jackets, their hands trembling from the cold, carefully sort and separate each strand of white meat. The steady hum of machinery, combined with the sound of knives hitting steel-hard shells, creates the industrial rhythm of a billion-dollar industry. Here, the luxury of the banquet table and the harshness of the ocean are connected by steel chains and artificial cold. King crabs are transformed into pure blocks of meat, packaged in thick layers of ice, ready to leave the factory to enter international supermarkets, luxury restaurants, or even return to the same gray market vortex from which they just escaped. From the hands of workers in the freezing cold, now to the hands of chefs in the hot kitchen, each crab claw is cherished, processed into delicious dishes, from rich cream soup to fragrant garlic butter grilled claws. and the factory to the sophistication of culinary art, a cruel price paid to create a symbol of luxury on the high-class dining table. Ice Age riches, wealth that comes from ice, is actually a fierce price, paid with sweat, risk, and even life on hunting trips at the end of the world. But that very journey raises a burning question. Are we consuming a treasure, or are we slowly destroying it? Today, modern technology has made king crab fishing somewhat less dangerous. Radar systems, satellite positioning, and advanced rescue equipment give fishermen a better chance of survival in harsh environments. But even with all these advances, the ocean still reigns supreme. A sudden storm or a small mistake on board can still turn a voyage into disaster. But the danger isn't just from the waves. Climate change is changing the face of the Bering Sea. Temperatures are rising, ice is melting faster, and ocean currents are shifting, putting king crab populations at risk of migration or decline. For Alaskan fishermen, this is not just an ecological threat, but a direct blow to their livelihood. A bad season not only takes away their income, but can wipe out entire communities that depend on the crabs. Faced with these changes, the big question is, which path will humans choose? Continue chasing short-term profits and push this crab species to the brink, or find a way to balance exploitation and conservation? Because this frozen treasure can only continue to exist if it is preserved with wisdom and responsibility. And if not, one day, What was once considered a symbol of wealth may only be a memory in documentaries. As winter tightens its grip on the Arctic, the sea surface is no longer a rolling white-capped wave. Gone is the howling sea wind, replaced by the dry sound of cracking ice, echoing underfoot like an invisible warning. Every step is a gamble, because just a small crack can cause the entire ice surface to burst, plunging everyone into water so cold that it can take their lives in minutes. Yet they continue, because the reward is the bright red crab claws, which carry the value of an entire winter's livelihood. From the deep sea governed by conservation rules to the white ice surface where there are no laws other than the harshness of nature, the journey clearly shows the nature of Ice Age riches. It is the wealth that comes from ice, but is paid for at a cruel price. The recklessness, resilience, and sometimes even the lives of those who dare to conquer this cold world. The king crab industry faces major challenges, from climate change to fishing management. Yet, despite the difficulties, king crab remains one of the world's rarest and most valuable seafood. King crab is not only a rare seafood with great economic value, but also a favorite dish in high-class parties around the world. With sweet, firm meat and unique flavor, king crab is the perfect ingredient for luxurious dishes. One of the most popular ways to prepare king crab is grilled with garlic butter, a dish that not only retains its natural flavor, but also adds deliciousness from the butter and garlic. More than just a dish, king crab is a symbol of luxury, sophistication, and class. Every party or event with the presence of king crab is a mark of luxury, affirming the refined culinary taste of diners. King crab is not only a luxury food, but also a billion-dollar industry. However, to ensure a sustainable future for this species, sustainable management and resource protection are key. If you want to continue to accompany these amazing journeys of discovery, please subscribe to the Go Discover channel. Because out there are countless mysteries of nature waiting to be told.